This morning, Chicago's top cop is out of a job, and questions are swirling about what led to Eddie Johnson's firing.
Eddie Johnson engaged in conduct that is not only unbecoming, but demonstrated a series of ethical lapses and flawed decision-making that is inconsistent with having the privilege of leading the Chicago Police Department.
The stunning announcement from the city's Mayor Lori Lightfoot came just weeks before Johnson was set to retire after more than 3 decades on the force. He'd taken over as police superintendent in 2016 in the wake of the controversial Laquan McDonald shooting.
It's Mr. Smollett who committed this hoax.
And he drew national attention for his department's handling of the Jussie Smollett case. Johnson had been under growing scrutiny since mid-October when he was found asleep in his car right after midnight. At the time, he blamed the incident on a problem with his medication.
It's painful to admit this, but when he adjusted my medication, I took the old medication out for high blood pressure, but I failed to put the new medication in.
But the next day, the mayor said his story had changed slightly.
He revealed to me that he'd had a couple of drinks with dinner.
On November 7th, Johnson announced he planned to retire.
This job has taken its toll. Taken a toll on my health, my family, my friends, but my integrity remains intact.
But less than a month later, he's been dismissed after the mayor reviewed the city's inspector general's report and video evidence related to the night he was found in his car.
Eddie Johnson intentionally lied to me several times, even when I challenged him about the narrative that he shared with me. He maintained that he was telling the truth. I now know definitively that he was not.
Mayor Lightfoot would not specify what those alleged lies were, saying revealing them would not be fair to Johnson's wife and children.
NBC News has reached out repeatedly to Eddie Johnson, but we have not heard back. He also declined to comment to media in Chicago. The mayor hinted that the inspector general's report may one day become public, but until then, we might not know what led to his firing.
Although the mayor seemed to drop a real big hint, the nature of the situation.
All right.